the graph. And I had a difficult time making this, this line right here. So usually it will not start at 20, it should start at 0, but it's counting going up by 4s, and this should be 0, but I couldn't do the squiggly thing, so it's going to be 20. So we see a point right here, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put points everywhere where I see one, so that I know when I write these down that it will be easy to find them. So at 0 hours, we're actually paying $20. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write 20. Then it says for 2, so I go over to 2 hours and I am actually paying $24. The next one, it's asking for 4, so I go over to 4 and I'm paying $28. 6 hours, I'm paying $32. And at 8 hours, I'm paying $36. And I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I just know that it's increasing. This process you don't necessarily need. So now that I have the table filled in, what I need to do is find my constant rate of change so that I can find my algebraic equation. Now, I like to label my x is my hours, and my y was the money. So now I need to find the constant rate of change by figuring out the change. How do I get from 0 to 2? I'm adding 2, I'm adding 2, adding 2, and adding 2. On the other side, I am adding 4. Oh, let me go on the outside. And I'm adding 4, and I'm adding 4, and I'm adding 4. So I always put my change in y on top of my change in x. My change in y was 4, so I'm going to write that on top. 4 on top of my change in x, which was 2. And 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So I know my constant rate of change is 2, but that means pretty much nothing to me. I need to write it as my y per my x. So it's going to be $2 per hour. So I'd write it as $2 per hour. Now, if we read this in a statement, like in a word problem, and we didn't know how many hours, like it wasn't given it to us in a table, what you would do is you would say 2x. Now remember, if we see x is 0 and we see something over here for y, that's how much we have to add on, because we're not starting at 0, we actually have to add $20 on. So when we look for our equation, we see that D is the one that makes sense. And if we wanted to check, we could plug one of these numbers in. Like 2 times 0 is 0 plus 20 gives me 20. 2 times 2 gives me 4, and 4 plus 20 gives me 24. Let's say 8. 8 plus 2 gives me 16, and 16 plus 20 gives me 36. So I know that this is going to work throughout. Now the last thing I need to do is figure out which one of these verbal descriptions is correct. So it says an outdoor adventure company charges $2 per hour for a mountain bike plus a $20 fee for a helmet. The next one says an outdoor adventure company charges $20 per hour for a mountain bike plus a $2 fee. So when I look at this, there's only one difference, and that's $20 per hour in the 2, and the $2 per hour in the 20. They're flip-flopped. So if I were going to write $2 per hour, that would be 2x, kind of like what we had down here. And then it says the word plus $20 fee. So that's the way that this equation would look. Down here, the difference is it's $20 per hour, so it should be 20x plus a $2 fee. And the only one that looks like our equation would be A. Perfect.